Down to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
This is like a marathon.
Right,
points.
right. I know. In the military commission. So, win or lose for the Obamas?
I think this is lose because they have retreated from a core principle that they established coming into power, which was a desire to use Article 3 criminal courts to hold terrorists accountable, and in particular those responsible for 9/11. You recall Attorney General Holder came out with great fanfare about the use of the criminal trials to hold KSM and 4 others to task and to account in New York. Obviously, politics got in the way, Congress got in the way, but I really put the onus on the administration. I think they've muddied the waters here in terms of the legal framework for dealing with the detainees, and they've really muddled and screwed up, frankly, the way that they've gone about trying to resolve these issues. In the first instance, they didn't coordinate well with the folks in New York, the key people you need to, like the mayor and the chief of the NYPD, the people who have to be on board if you're going to move 5 of the most dangerous terrorists in history into the heart of New York and Manhattan. But more importantly, they've come in with mixed messages. They've come in saying, you've got to use criminal trials to hold people accountable. Oh, but the military commissions are still going to be active and we'll use it in other cases. Oh, by the way, we'll also keep people indefinitely in detention. Recall last month, the Obama administration came out with their executive order laying out a process for checks and balances on the indefinite detention process, which means there are a number of individuals, dozens, who will not face either a criminal trial or a military commission trial. And they haven't been able to answer a fundamental question in all of this, which is, if Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is acquitted, whether in the criminal trial or in the military commission trial, will he be let free? And the answer is, of course not. And so I just think there are fundamental questions here that have not been answered. The Obama administration has failed to go to Congress with a legal framework, which is what President Obama promised last May. They've now backtracked. And so I see this KSM decision as just another retreat as a result of the muddle of the legal framework for how you deal with detention. And this isn't to suggest that the Obama administration wasn't dealing with hard problems. I just think they have failed to really take the opportunity to provide an all-out legal framework and solution to this. I've written about this often, and I think this was a huge missed opportunity. And now what we're faced with is not only an administration that appears to be in retreat on all these issues, questions as to whether or not KSM is actually going to face a trial anytime soon, because the military commission is not going to start tomorrow. It'll take some time. And the reality that Guantanamo is not going to close, at least in the first term of this administration. And so, or ever. And so this is a real muddle, and the Obama administration fumbled this from the start.
It's a good argument that when you get inaugurated, it might be a good idea to take an extra glass of champagne before you sit down and proclaim that you're going to close something like Guantanamo a year from today. Because I think what happened was, when they actually went down there, they found that the records were not in good order. And that's what they started using as the excuse. But I think if somebody had looked at that first, maybe they might have not said, oh, we're closing it in a year.
Well,
it's a mangled communication strategy.
Well, if they talked to folks like me or others who were dealing with these issues, and where we were actually trying to close Guantanamo, trying to deal with legal complexities, I think we could have told them it was more complicated than just a matter of ideology or politics. I think, unfortunately, it was a scenario in which the Obama administration believed its own campaign rhetoric, and didn't bother to look at the real legal complications underlying all of this. And unfortunately, now they're stuck with the albatross of Guantanamo around their neck, and a lot of retreating that looks like we've just spun our wheels and retreated from core principles that the Obama administration laid out from the start.
Okay, well, that does it for us for Flashpoints, and it's I'm sorry, I did center camera, I'm told. That does it for Flashpoints today, April 7th. And like Juan said, it was a marathon session, but that's the world we live in. Lots of Flashpoints.
Lots more to
Thanks,
talk
Juan.
about. Thank you, Ward.